There is a certain exuberance when people know that they're about to be successful with a property, and then there is the opposite, when they begin to bash the fans who have not yet even seen the material they're going to put on screen. Such is the case with Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland, just before the Acolyte releases in June. Folks, let's dive into the latest vitriol they're dropping on a toxic fan base. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, and today we are joined by Lauren Connor, Star Wars guru that he is, for yet another trip down memory lane of just how awful the leadership at Lucasfilm is. Lauren, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Better, I would suppose, than those who are hoping for a great reception by the Acolyte, because they're employing the Kenobi strategy yet again, Lauren. The Kenobi strategy. It worked so well last time. It worked so well. Folks, do not despair, for we are going to show you the silver lining at the end of all of this, and that is that losers don't talk the way they're talking. Oh, wait. Yes, they do. All right, Lauren, let's dive into this. And folks, as we do, click that like button. Here we go. This is out of Variety by Zach Sharf. Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy says, "A lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fan attacks because of the fan base being so male-dominated." By the way, a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with Lucasfilm attacks because they're actual strong women. Just letting you know that. In a new interview with the New York Times for the upcoming Star Wars series The Acolyte, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said she is aware that women in the space franchise are often attacked online more than men because of the fan base being so male-dominated. Female stars Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran certainly faced online harassment from toxic fans when the most recent Star Wars film trilogy was released, and now The Acolyte is already being attacked in certain corners of the fandom. You know who ought to be jelly of this, Lauren? You know how to be just really jelly and feeling left out in the cold? Poor Rian Johnson. Poor Rian Johnson. I mean, we gave it everything we had on that guy, you know, because of the pile of sludge he delivered to us. And it does not seem to have gotten him into the pantheon of those who have been aggrieved by the fan base. Lauren, what do you make of this? Are we are the critics of Star Wars, are they just out to get women?
No, they're out to have better quality product, and they haven't been delivered that, and so they keep not watching the show or downvoting the obvious message material that they're putting out. If you're going to tweak your own fan base, this is the results you're going to get. You can't act surprised by that.
Very, very true, Lauren. And this article gets better, actually, folks. This keeps going. The Acolyte is an original story created by Leslye Headland that's set long before the events of The Phantom Menace. Headland, get ready, folks. We're going to find out what she's known for. Headland, known for directing films such as Sleeping with Other People and co-creating Netflix's hit comedy series Russian Doll, is the first woman to serve as showrunner of a Star Wars series. Her show includes major new female Star Wars characters played by the likes of Amanda Stenberg, Carrie-Anne Moss, Joni Turner-Smith, and more. Now, wait a minute. I thought that Amanda Stenberg was indefinite on gender and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. We'll leave that alone. But Lauren, is this really what Leslye Headland is known for? Is this really what Leslye Headland is known for, Lauren? What is she known for?
It's one of the things she's known for. Probably not the biggest thing that she's known for.
This is like saying Joe Biden is known for his gumbo. Like, come on. No, there's folks, listen, this is the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. And we have seen the allegations that have come out that have put her in his proximity during the timeline of events when bad things were happening. Does that mean that she was engaged in it? No, doesn't mean that. Are we alleging it? No, we're not. But if you were in that man's close circle during that time, significant special scrutiny should probably be placed on you, and you should probably not be a showrunner for something like this from Disney. Just a flat out PR thought. Lauren, but there's also another part of this, and that is that Leslye Headland is alleged in the lawsuit by Gina Carano to have been financially aiding and abetting those who wanted to take Gina Carano down How do you think that's going to play out with the fans as we get ready to go to the Acolyte? And is that why we're seeing them right now going ahead and laying down the groundwork, just like they did with the Kenobi stuff? This time it's going to be women, right? In Kenobi, it was the Rosas, right? But with this one, it's going to be the chauvinists. That's going to be the thing. So we know the playbook. They only play the playbook if they know they're not going to play well. What do you make of all it, Lauren?
Yeah, I think you just said it. I mean, the thing is, I don't know how the fan base is going to react because I don't think the fan base is probably tuning in. So it's possible that they just ignore it entirely. I don't think that Leslye Headland is going to be real popular among the fan base for a variety of reasons, the biggest of which you've already mentioned. That they are trotting this out the week before release tells me that they think they've got a stinker. Yeah, they think they've got a stinker on their hands. And that's... I actually,
they're stupid. Either that or they're just really, really stupid, and I don't put that second one away easily. I'm not fully convinced that they can stop acting the way they do.
Possibly, but I did expect them to be acting with a little bit more confidence with this show because they've got so much writing on it. So I'm a little surprised they've deployed this defense this early. I thought they would wait until after release, but the fact that they're deploying it now feels to me like this is a big deal because they have so much writing on this particular show. This is, I believe, this is the thing that's going to put the nail in the coffin completely. I think they're pretty much already there after Ahsoka, but I think this could be the thing that forces Disney to potentially cancel the Rey movie, decide that we're going to have a major strategic pivot. I think the feedback they're going to get on this is going to be pretty loud.
So, Lauren, to me, this feels as close to winning as we're ever going to get in the current era where Kathleen Kennedy's sitting on top of her throne of fail and suck. It might not feel like winning to those out there watching just yet, but if you're not going to get good content, what's the next best thing? Well, the bad content is rejected, and that those who are making the bad content are resentful that it's being rejected. That's the next best thing if you can't get good content.
Yeah, I would hesitate to call this anything like a victory. If anything, it's a Pyrrhic victory because we're left standing in a bunch of ashes. That's not great for anybody. But I think we are at the point where the argument seems to be, are we still angry or are we just apathetic? I think it's a combination of the two. It's like it's difficult to care anymore, but you're still really mad about it because of how egregious what they've done with the property has been.
Lauren, did you see Godzilla -1?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, well, let me tell you about a part in that movie. And folks out there listening, they're going to know about this. Folks, there's a part in Godzilla -1 where the Japanese have just absolutely been devastated. And we're talking about the Japanese people. The average person in Tokyo has been absolutely devastated. And they're picking through the rubble and the garbage and everything is just absolutely destroyed and decimated to the ground. And so they're living in these places, these tents and these huts that they can make out of the rubble, the ashes of their former grand city. And in that, they find the will to go forward and to win against Godzilla. And so you might think, well, the Japanese are just totally defeated in this movie. And but the movie is actually about the idea that in that place of absolute devastation, you can find the will to bring forth the courage to battle against the monster that faces you now. And I would suggest that if this were the movie, the Star Wars, if the fan base was a movie, we're at that point now where the franchise has been so decimated and devastated. Nobody cares about these things. I don't know, Lauren, you might not have seen this. I posted on Twitter. I was at the big box retailer Meijer, and they had all, essentially, of the Young Jedi Adventures merchandise on clearance. And I think we're at that point now where we can take down this monster that has destroyed the most lucrative franchise in history. That's what Star Wars was. It was the biggest, boldest, most lucrative most successful franchise ever, and they've diminished it to this point. And I think now is the chance, and I think that's why they're setting this early precedent that if you attack this series, you're the bad person. And it's not that you disagree with what we've made. It's not that you dislike the Acolyte. It's that you hate women, darn it. You don't like your moms, your mothers. You don't even celebrate Mother's Day, you bunch of hooligans. Let me throw you a curveball here. George Lucas came out in the last few days, and he was not positive about the girl boss trope. George Lucas said it takes more than pants to turn someone into a hero. Paraphrasing there, folks, just a little bit. Not much, though. You think that that may have set off these women to release this these statements, these interviews? Do you think that irked them so that they couldn't stand it and they had to get out here and make these kinds of comments?
I think it probably tweaked them a little bit, but I don't think it's probably the precipitating event. I think right now they're feeling a total lack of confidence, and it's deservedly so. They really don't have anything to put up that's looking positive for them. And I expected them to have a little bit more swagger with the Acolyte because, it's been in development for 4 years. It's obviously been for them a linchpin project. It's one of those things where they really, really somehow want to make the High Republic work. And I felt like, given all of the rumors that were going around that this wasn't a real project, it's never going to come to fruition, this isn't really something that's going to come out, this is a big slap in the face to those people who said that. And I thought that they would be acting like, they had real confidence in the product. They're not doing that.
They're scared. They're scared, Lord.
And I think it's not just Lucasfilm. This is Disney as a whole. They have had nothing but bad news. Iger is looking inept, borderline incompetent. I think that there's some real fear in the House of Mouse right now about, it may be that they are past the point of ever being able to turn this thing around, / if they have lost their crown, which I think an argument can be made. Yes, they've lost their crown. They're not #1 in movies and theme parks and any of that stuff anymore. They may never be able to recapture it. And I think that is beginning to weigh heavily on them and the investors. And because of that, I think that's maybe why they're trying to deploy this strategy, but it ain't working.
Because it works so well.
Nobody fears these labels anymore because they have so overused them. When this quote from KK came out, I did make a Twitter post about this yesterday and said, look, Kathleen, there actually is one Disney Star Wars female that the male fans can get behind, and that's Marva. There's a line in Andor that she gives when the corporate security forces are on Ferrix, and they're going and kind of raiding the place looking for Andor. They're clanging all of these chimes and bells and things, sending this signal to everybody, watch out, the CorpSec is here. And she says to the corpos watching over her, this is what a reckoning sounds like. And that's what's happening right now to Disney and Lucasfilm. This is the fan base getting their Empire Strikes Back moment in the role of the Empire. We're now going to squash you. And so I think that they're a little worried about that. I think they're seeing that it's not a minority that is disparaging their product. It's the majority. And that, I think, has got them running a little scared.
And we have the facts on our side, which always feels good, Lord. I mean, let's just think for a moment about the men who have produced tortuously bad Star Wars. Lauren, did we take it easy on Robert Rodriguez, who directed some of the worst Book of Boba Fett episodes we've ever had to encounter in terms of just terrible television? Did we take it easy on Robert Rodriguez?
No, I don't think so.
Did we take it easy on Dave Filoni when it came to Ahsoka and how atrocious it was?
Nope, not a bit.
Rian Johnson, is he any less round-headed lately?
No, he's still an obnoxious little twerp.
You caught me off guard with that one. I like it. I don't think we have been selective in who we criticize when they produce bad stuff. And I think also when people make good Star Wars, that we support them. It's that simple. You've said that, Andor, you really like the series. But let's take a look now, Lauren, because it gets worse. Somehow it gets worse. This is what would you say? This is predestination victimization. We're not even to the point yet where they've been victimized by the old toxic meanies out there, but they're ready for it. Kathleen Kennedy, this is what she says. My belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people. Well, except for maybe Inuits, Aborigines, the people that she wants to put at the top of the power hierarchy. She doesn't care about representing all people because not all people have been in Star Wars. She told the publication about her support for Headland's Acolyte vision. That's an easy decision for me. Operating within these giant franchises now with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying, Kennedy continued. Okay, folks, that is not the language of someone who thinks they're about to have a win. Tom Cruise did not come out before Top Gun Maverick and say, the expectations of bringing back a 30-year, 40-year-old franchise, terrifying. No, because that's not what winners say. I think Leslye has struggled a little bit with it. Oh, my gosh. Folks, this is not what you say when you're about to win. You never say this when you're about to win. You gloat. Folks, do you think that these people sit and sit this sourly way together? No, they don't. They gloat. They hate those who don't like their products. They gloat when they win over them. If they thought they were going to beat you right now, they would be, oh gosh, elated. They would be at the top of the ceiling. You'd have to pull them back down into their seats. I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more. Because of the fan base being so male-dominated, they sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. I don't recall Bryce Dallas Howard ever being attacked because she's made good stuff. And I don't recall that even if you make bad stuff that people really jump all over you. It's when you attack people for not liking what you make that they take a lot of heat. Headland has already started to limit her exposure. Let me finish this and I'll get your take, Lauren. Headland has already started to limit her exposure to online chatter about the show to block out any of the toxic fans. And the show hasn't even debuted on Disney Plus yet. As a fan myself, she says, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. I can't. We'll come back. Lauren, this is a woman who said that she identified that she wanted to make this movie and that Star Wars was the vehicle to do it. And she went and pitched Frozen meets Kill Bill to Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, but I've got to make it in Star Wars. Like, she's not, come on. Is she a fan, Lauren?
Well, she's also the one who came out and said, when asked which of the Star Wars movies is your favorite, she stared there blankly for a while and said, oh, all of them. If you can't name the one that you think is the best and you're claiming that you felt frustration for some of them, how can all of them be your favorite?
Lauren, that's worse than when you're asked, what's your favorite color? You say red, no blue, no green. No. I mean, that's, yeah. You don't even know the names of the colors to be able to call them out and get it wrong. Good grief. All right, let's finish off this thing. It says, I stand by my empathy, because they're always empathic folks, for Star Wars fans. But I want to be clear. Anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. Lauren, they don't consider you a fan. They don't consider me a fan. It doesn't have to do with hate speech. It has to do with we disagree with them destroying a franchise and then using it for their own purposes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think anybody's going to defend bigotry, racism, or hate speech, but that's not what we've been engaged in. And what they're wanting to do is try and reterm disagreement with the story points that you're making, the plot structure, the writing, any of that. You're trying to claim that that's bigotry, hate speech, and racism, when actually it's just pointing out the poor quality of your product. And this whole we want to represent everybody in Star Wars. Storytelling is about everybody. That's also kind of a straw man here, because no, it's not. To tell a story, you have to have a perspective. It's the old thing there. If you try to appeal to everybody, you're not really pitching a story to anybody. And
but Lauren, they're not trying to appeal to everybody because they deperson those who disagree with them. So they're not real people anymore.
But the thing is that what you should be trying to do is build empathy for your characters. That's what storytelling is about. It's putting you in the shoes of somebody who is not in a situation that you're in and trying to see what that perspective is. And if you're doing it right, if you're dealing with a protagonist correctly, then you should care about what they're doing, what's occurring to them, and the situation that they're in, possibly seeing something that you haven't seen before and haven't thought about in that way before. If you're doing that effectively, you will feel a kinship with the character, and that means that you're on their side. You're rooting for them. That's what Disney is failing at, is creating characters that anybody likes. And when we're talking about these characters, we haven't been going after the actors and the actresses that are playing them. We're going after the characters. I've got nothing against Daisy Ridley. I can't stand Rey. That's a different thing. And that's what they're trying to blur the line on so that they can make these claims that we're bigots, racists, and haters of some kind.
Right. They want to put their own views of us onto us and make that be the way that we see the world. We just won't do that. And I'm sorry, folks, but we're savvy enough and we're intellectual enough to know what they're up to. They know we know what they're up to, and they just can't defeat us. And that drives them absolutely insane. But Lauren, I think we're both wrong. I think we're absolutely, totally, 1,000% wrong. You see, Lauren, I think that when you take the most lucrative franchise that's making vast sums of money and bringing joy to people, and when you utterly destroy it, I think it's the fault of a toxic fan base. I think that when you go home to your Malibu mansion, one of 5, and you cry in your glass of wine, I think you are the victim as you consider how harshly you've been rejected inside your infinity pool. I think you're the victim. I think that when you sat in close proximity to one of the greatest predators of the last decade or decades and essentially did nothing to stop that, I think you're the victim. Not the vast number of people who were damaged, not the woman who asked for us all to moderate and be kind to one another and then was thrown out and treated so poorly she had to hide out in her house for a week. She's not the victim. These women are the victim, and they're just ready. They're bracing, Lauren. They are bracing to face the whirlwind of negativity that will come at them as they eat at their 5-star restaurant. They're bracing for it, Lauren. They're the heroes. They're the victims.
Yeah, well, I fail to have any sympathy for them. They can cry in their wine glass all they like, but I think that, to my mind, something has changed, and I think they're aware of it. I think that they're starting to feel some real desperation. Whether that leads to change or not, I still stand by the fact that I believe Star Wars is in ashes, and it's essentially now a dead property. I don't see a way to change that currently. My only hope now is that they become so desperate that they are forced to pivot, but I have no confidence that that's going to happen. But I think what I am enjoying is seeing that they no longer seem so confident on their perch. I'm seeing a sign of fear, and I'm happy to see that. I think it's about time they start worrying about whether or not they're going to be able to continue on this little emasculation joyride that they've been enjoying so much.
This path of toxic resentment. They came into this with contentment, and they're going to leave with contentment. That's the way that this is going to go. I believe they came in hating the heroes of Star Wars and looking to rebuild it. It didn't work, and now they're hating the people who didn't accept it. And so with hate they came in, with hate they'll go out, and we will still be here, folks. When in doubt, stay tuned to this channel, and we'll tell you why the skies are still blue and the future is still very bright. Lauren, I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing your thoughts with us today. Folks, do not fret, not yet, for more content is coming your way 3 times daily. Like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. Lauren, what are you doing next on Genre Guys, the member exclusive content here on the channel? What are you guys going to cover next?
Well, it involves Taco Bell and seashells, so you can figure it out from there.
There's a tongue twister, folks. But be here, because your mind shall be opened, not twisted, when you listen to the Genre Guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to say goodbye for now. We'll see you later this afternoon, though, because trust us, entertainment continues to do things which destroys its own industry, and we will be here to reflect on it all. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing. And as always, no matter what they do, and in spite of them, because it drives them mad, keep having fun.
This is Wilton the Troll reporting for That's Park Place, and I'm surrounded by loving and adoring people who are peacefully trying to make sure that poor kids aren't cold in the winter. And just behind me, you can see a totally natural bonfire for baking cookies or making marshmallows.
Yeah, so, Wilson, we really appreciate the effort and stuff, but we're looking for real and, accurate news reporting on that Park Place.
So not like most news outlets, huh?
No.